Hi, my name's Phil. I like talking about politics. In this video, I'd like to discuss the way Rishi Sunak has been presenting his adjustments to the Northern Ireland Protocol this morning and point out how he's actually laying the groundwork for a return to the single market for the UK. Some seem to think that Sunak is being caught out in contradictions here. But is he? Does anybody really know what sort of Brexit Sunak actually wants? But first, if you'd like to be notified of daily news and politics, please subscribe to the channel and click the bell notification icon. So, unlike Lando Calrissian's feelings, I'm thinking this deal is getting better and better all the time. Rishi Sunak is a Brexit supporter, unlike the previous Tory Prime Ministers going right back to David Cameron, who've been tossing Brexit around like a very hot potato. Sunak is unique in being one who actually chose to campaign for leave without any clear political ambition behind the reason. As far as we can tell, he chose to campaign on the leave side because he felt that matched his views. But nowhere have I been able to find details about why Rishi Sunak wanted the UK to leave the EU. At the time of the referendum, Sunak was a brand new MP in his 30s. He had no public profile at all. In truth, most of the people who voted for him in his own constituency probably didn't really know who he was. It's hard to find anything about Sunak's political life before becoming an MP in 2015 and not very much since until at least 2019. I know he was part of Cameron's drive to get more non-white candidates into even safe seats to avoid the Conservative Party being like the Theresa Coffey's reselection photo. But beyond that, I don't really know much at all. So unlike with people like Theresa May, Boris Johnson, Liz Truss, who were already established MPs at the time, and we can easily dissect their motivations, we don't really know what Sunak's motivation for backing Brexit at any time has been. We can speculate. He was a young investment banker who knew nothing about politics, probably not anything about trade or economics either. He may not have had sound reasons for wanting to leave the EU at all. It's possible that he backed leaving the EU for some reason, which he now thinks is wrong and wants to steer us back towards membership. There's no evidence for this. It's just that it is possible, given that we have no idea, or I have no idea, why he supported leaving in the first place. It's possible that he just wanted to avoid the EU anti-tax avoidance directives or saw an opportunity to deregulate the financial markets. These would be areas where Sunak had some genuine understanding and interest, at least. But perhaps he didn't want to leave the single market for goods, for example. This morning, Rishi Sunak said something that I have been saying for a very long time. Whenever the issue of the Northern Ireland Protocol has come up, and especially unionist resistance to it, I have consistently pointed out how blind they appear to be. The Northern Ireland Protocol allows businesses in Northern Ireland to export freely to both the EU single market and the British market. Nowhere else in Europe, nowhere has this. And there's no point in saying, well, yeah, but most of Europe, they can export to the rest of the single market, and that's the larger market anyway, so it's fine. The British market is a very large consumer market. Of course, it's smaller than the entire continental single market, but it is still a very large market. The point is that Northern Ireland can export to both without hassle. Everyone else used to be able to do it a few years ago, but now it's only Northern Ireland. That unionists were not using this fact, I thought was mad. If Northern Ireland reunified, which is what unionists don't want, they would lose this capacity. While the British market remains separate to the EU single market, and I hope it won't be an excessive period of time, then the protocol represents a powerful economic argument against reunification. So why did unionists focus on the political problems with the protocol, which worked against their interests, instead of focusing on the economic benefits, which were very much in their interests? Especially the UUP. I mean, you expect the DUP and the TUV to sometimes not see the wood for the trees, but surely the UUP would have welcomed an opportunity to distinguish themselves and align themselves with the public benefits of the protocol. But here was Rishi Sunak this morning pretty much saying the same thing. He didn't call Irish unionists insane or anything, or even mention the protocol in the context of reunification. But he passionately advocated how Northern Ireland was unique in the world, he said, in having this access to the EU single market and the UK market for goods exports. He pointed out that nobody has this and that it's great for investment. Precisely what I've been saying for so long. And now here we've got the Prime Minister of a government that introduced Brexit saying it. And some have said, well, this is a bit of an own goal, isn't it? Surely the penny will drop with some people that if it's so great having this access to both markets, then surely the rest of Britain should. Because Sunak didn't just say that Northern Ireland had this pretty good deal by way of compensation for Brexit. He specifically described Northern Ireland as having the most exciting economic zone in the world as a result of that access to both the single market and the British market. Now, okay, that's laying it on a bit thick because we all used to have that access. Were we the most exciting economic zone in the world then? Well, maybe, I don't know. But the point is that the Prime Minister of the UK has said that Northern Ireland is a better economic zone than Britain because he's called it the most exciting in the world. That means it's better than Britain, or even indeed any part of Britain. That is hyping up access to the single market to a level you would think unwise for someone trying to sell the extreme Tory Brexit. After all, Sunak gets no votes from Northern Ireland. Telling them that they've got this awesome deal that is denied to the parts of the UK where he does rely on votes seems a bit dim. But that is to assume that Sunak does not want the UK in the single market. We don't know that. We know that he can't just say that he wants to rejoin the single market, regardless of what he thinks. Not enough of the key voters are in favour of it yet. And to state such a policy would be to state that the Conservatives had completely messed up the past 6 years of economic policy in the most spectacular fashion possible. So, of course, he can't say it. But if he personally wants it, is there any harm in him nudging people towards that view with a few little statements like this? Consider that his Chancellor, Jeremy Hunt, was reported to have said he was in favour of a Swiss-style arrangement a few months ago. Now, what is a Swiss-style arrangement other than being part of the single market? Consider the sort of government we've got now. We have a Chancellor who's talked up the benefits of the Swiss arrangement. Now, we won't get it, of course. The EU aren't really happy that Switzerland have it. But just talking up the benefits to the EU is a big step in itself. Now, he didn't do it publicly, and he had to deny it when asked, but there had to be something in it for it to be reported so widely. Then we have the Prime Minister organising a conference a few weeks ago to bring together various stakeholders, including in the Labour Party, to discuss how the UK should work with the EU more closely. This clearly is with the next negotiation of the Trade and Cooperation Agreement in mind. That's for 2026, but the groundwork will begin surely in 2025. There's agreement in Labour, of course, but now there seems to be agreement in the Conservatives that the Trade and Cooperation Agreement should be a much closer agreement. Certainly from the leadership. If Sunak is willing to big up the benefits to Northern Ireland of having a close trading relationship with the EU, when it holds now no direct electoral benefits for him to give of Northern Ireland anything, why wouldn't he be happy for others to extrapolate and see the benefit in Britain having a much closer trading relationship with the EU? Richard Tice of Reform UK was today slamming this agreement as a Brino, Brexit in name only. Nonsense, of course. Brexit was just leaving EU membership. It's only people like him who've insisted that it meant being out of the single market, and even then they only claim that after the referendum, not before. I've no idea what sort of Brexit Rishi Sunak had in mind back in 2016. I've no idea what sort of Brexit envisages now in 2023. I don't even know if it's the same Brexit. Though it's clear that whatever Brexit he imagines is not the unnecessarily hard Brexit that we ended up with. Sunak's statement this morning could have been a few things. It could have been a direct appeal to the people and politicians of Northern Ireland, who was in Antrim after all, to embrace these benefits with the hope that the penny doesn't drop for people in Britain. But it could just as easily, maybe even more credibly, be a direct pitch to the voters he does need to appeal to in Britain to consider the benefits of a close trading relationship with the most sophisticated single market in the world. After all, here's me saying that Northern Ireland's got the most exciting economic zone in the world. Britain's going, what about us? We want to be exciting as well. Well, you're not that exciting without single market access, are you? We want single market access. An appeal to get people to think, okay, what was it about leaving the EU that we really wanted? Because people don't seem to be able to answer that. What was it about leaving the EU that you really wanted? Like, what specific bits? Let's just try and work on that without all the unnecessary baggage which nobody really voted for or wanted. And if it's the latter, it won't just be Sunak saying this because he wants to. It might represent a confidence that a great many Tory MPs are thinking it, even if they don't say it just yet. But as I keep saying, look at how far public opinion and even media reporting of Brexit has come in 2 years. From the BBC not even mentioning Brexit to all of a sudden pointing out the damage it's doing. Today, the mainstream media in Britain are not asking the Tories why, if access to the single market is so great for Northern Ireland, that it should be something Britain should be without. They're not being asked that. Why should Britain be without what is apparently making Northern Ireland the most exciting economic zone in the world? I've not seen one major outlet ask that. But what happens when they do start asking that? But there we are. Those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. I hope you found the video interesting. If you did, please click the like button. And if you'd like to support the channel further, the join button for memberships. And until next time, I'll see you later.